Hello class. The second part of this ancillary video is going to cover how do we have those difficult accountability conversations with our employees. And I always say without turning them off, without demotivating them, without getting them to be defensive, but also getting our point across that there is a performance gap and an accountability issue with what's going on with their workplace performance. In the last video, we talked a lot about why these difficult conversations can go south and why they're so difficult in nature. So I would recommend this this technique, this process for having those accountability issues. And this one is called CPR. It's content pattern relationship process of dealing with accountability. And before I even start this lecture, let me stress the importance of, number one, identifying and addressing issues, especially accountability issues, as soon as possible. Because the longer we wait between incident and addressing the issue, things are going to get progressively worse. In my experience, issues never resolve themselves, and if these accountability issues are not addressed in an almost immediate fashion, things are going to get worse, and it's going to cost the company more and more money. And in the long term, the conversation is going to become more difficult to have. So again, we'll discuss this CPR method. And what it is, it's just a structured way to address accountability issues. It helps people move from surface level issues to deeper, reoccurring, or relational type problems. And again, CPR stands for content, pattern, and relationships. So the first part of this is content. And for the first offense with something, and again, we want to catch this as soon as it happens. For the first offense, we talk about what just happened. Okay, we focus on the specific event, the behavior, or the issue that you just witnessed or experienced. Okay, it's more informal. It's more, hey, look, I noticed this happen. What's the issue? What could I do to help you? This is a first offense, right? It's not, it could be something that slipped your mind. It could be something that where you just didn't have the resources to complete it. Maybe something on our end that we didn't provide you to do it. But hey, this is what I noticed. It's a specific event. It's a behavior or it's an issue. For example, in yesterday's meeting, you interrupted me 3 times before I finished presenting. Okay. So again, we'll have that conversation very informally. It could be away from people. Maybe you see somebody in the hall or just a quick visit to the office. Hey, how's it going? Hey, look, the other day we had this meeting. You interrupted me 3 times. Is there something going on? Is there something you're thinking about? Or, it was hard for me to kind of get back into the flow of the meeting when you did this. And I just want to know if there was a reason for it, or was I saying something that was offensive to you? Whatever it was, let's address it. It's one thing, it's one issue, so let's try to get it resolved. And the goal is to address the facts and no judgment. Keep the conversation clear, concrete, semi-formal, and more often than not, that should take care of that specific issue. However, if it doesn't, if it happens again, now we start to discuss the pattern, right? If we discuss the content, we're going to miss the pattern. Hey, you interrupted me 3 times in the meeting. Yeah, but this is the second or third time that it happened. There's a pattern that's going on there. You were late for a team meeting. Now 3 times in a row. There's a pattern, right? We don't want to just discuss, hey, you were late for the meeting. And the next time, hey, you were late for the meeting. No, there's a pattern that's developing here. So we want to shift our conversation to the pattern that's happening. Hey, I see a pattern that's developing here. You're showing up 5-10 minutes late for just about every meeting, and it's disruptive, and it's ruining the flow of the meeting, and people are starting to get somewhat agitated. So there's a pattern here. I noticed several meetings over the past month. You often interrupted me before I finished my points. So again, that's showing that the pattern is developing. And it shows that it's not an isolated incident, that a trend is developing. And that trend needs attention. Okay, so for the second time, third time, we talk about the pattern. If this behavior continues despite addressing the content first and then the pattern, move to how it affects relationships. All right, so if somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do in the work, they're just not performing a task, and we addressed it, and we addressed the pattern that it's not being done. Now it's the relationships. Now it's, I feel that I can't trust you anymore, and that this is hurting our relationship, that I cannot just say to you, hey, this needs to be done, and I trust that it's going to be done. That has a much bigger impact than just that one time that you didn't do it. It may also be impacting the relationship with the team. The team is getting frustrated, or it might be affecting the relationship with our customers. Our customers have come to expect this level of satisfaction, this level of service, and now it's not being delivered. So it's having a big impact on our customers and what they're saying on their customer satisfaction surveys and things like that. So we move from the one-time incident content to what is the pattern that's going on here, to, okay, now this is starting to seriously impact relationships. And now I need to spend time watching you and watching over you and micromanaging you to make sure things are getting done. So we need to address this now, because the next step is probably not the good step. So, we've given you opportunities. We've offered our assistance and our help and tried to uncover what really is going on. What's the root cause of the problem here? After a while, it starts to impact relationships. And if the person, just doesn't want to comply with that, then that's when we know we have a serious issue where, maybe the ultimate point is dismissal or performance improvement plan. But I do suggest you go through this series, this process first, because what I find oftentimes is someone is just, to admit that we're not competent in doing something, to admit that we don't have the skills or the knowledge or the abilities to do something is very damaging. Again, it speaks to our identity. So, the easiest excuse is I don't have time. I didn't have time to do it. I didn't have time. And I've heard that excuse a million times, and I know it's not time. So, in our first meetings, I stress that, and I stress that, what do we need to do to make sure that you have the time, or what is it that you're doing that is taking up all of your time? Because I know that's not the real issue. The real issue is something else that probably speaks to their competence or their skills. And if we can get that out, it's much easier to address what the performance gap is there than just putting them on a performance plan initially right off the bat, letting them get defensive, letting them go into fight or flight. Now they're going to be angry, they're going to be frustrated, they're going to be fearful that they're going to lose their job, and those just aren't good things. So by using this process, I think we could more readily get to what the root cause of the problem is by trying to remain positive through this process.